seriously believe that this country isn't any special than any other country and it's going to fall. And when it falls, and until Jesus comes, they want to survive. The question is, how do we as Christians, I like that, prepare for the coming days in regard to our necessity supplies, food, fuel, etc.? Well, I can't go back over and lay the groundwork for all of you that weren't here last night. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and answer the question, and if I confuse you, I'm sorry. If you've got a pencil and paper, I'm going to give you some information. It will probably save your life. A man named Mal Tippin writes for a magazine called Guns and Ammo. In December 1976, he started a column called Survive. I followed very closely. In fact, I really invite that everybody write Peterson. You can go out and buy a copy of Gun and Ammo magazine, get the address of Peterson Publishers, and write them in Los Angeles, and consult them on how to obtain every back issue of Guns and Ammo from December 1976, just for that 2- or 3-page article. It's like a whole college course in one of how to live through those days. And recently, a few months back, he had a question and answer thing. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that has those. This one guy wrote in, I think he put that letter in there just to bless my heart. This guy wrote in and says, "You must be nuts. You've got to be the only nut in the world that would say that America is ever going to have any problems that its government couldn't handle." I could just see Mao, as I know him, just biting at the bit, wanting to write back, "What do you mean any problems they couldn't handle? They're the ones that are going to cause them." But he didn't say that. He said, "No, there's quite a few others out there that are just as nuts as I am." Now that's true in my case. There's quite a few of us out there. You'd be surprised at the names of the people. That's why they all carry a gun, because there's people trying to kill them because they believe this. Now, I'm not going to back up what I'm going to do here tonight. It's going to be a very strange thing for many liberal Christians, and many people brought up in very peaceful homes and so on, to hear the things that I'm about to say in a supply list. I'm not going to give you the reasons for them, but I am going to say that everyone has been researched and prayed over extensively by many, many ministers. If you want further information, write Post Office Box 303, Elkton, Maryland. P.O. Box 303, Elkton, Maryland, to Dr. Tom, sorry to say Tom Boyd. I got Joe Boyd on my hand. What? Tom Barrett. Tom is probably my second closest friend, and I just lost his name. He's going to love me when he hears this tape. No, that's what I'm afraid of. Oh, I really apologize. That's the Tom. He used to be one of the staff workers, you tell him. He used to be pastor of the church that Dr. Lilly pastors now in Avon. And he pastors Baptist Bible Church in Elkton, Maryland now. Now, he can give you closer list, but I'll give you a quick one. When you're stocking up supplies, don't be like a lot of Christian retreats that are going to be stocking up supplies for looters to come and kill you so that they can eat. Start with the first thing. Start with something that will stop somebody from coming through the door and killing everybody in your family. Now, people say, can Christians do that? Killing and defending is two different things. Go read Esther 8. Not only, and I'm counting on getting through hard times by this scripture, not only were they allowed to defend themselves, they picked up the supplies that the people that they defended themselves from were going to use against them. They always did that. But do this. And there's no other way to do this. We were talking about this in the back room before the service. I'm just going to have to tell you a couple items. If you don't like gun talk in the meeting, that's all right. We're just going to spend 60 seconds on it. Try to stay within the list that all the Christian retreats are publicizing. Mainly because the people that will be trying to kill everybody in the end will be using the same guns, and you'll be able to use their ammunition and parts for yours. Go with, first of all, the number one weapon in everybody's home should be a 12-gauge pump shotgun. I prefer that you choose the Remington 870. Now, for the rest of you people, just have a seat and take it easy for a minute. We're going to get to your questions. These people are interested in something. The next weapon should be a Colt AR-15 assault rifle. The next thing should be, now it depends on whether you choose a semi-automatic handgun or revolver. So many people are going, but you don't have guns in here. Just a minute. We'll get to your question. These people want to survive. I want to see them see the Lord come in the air. If you want to go first, go ahead and don't pay attention. Now, if you choose a handgun, choose only these two. Do not buy a gun, and if you have a gun that's not on this list, sell it and buy something else. I mean that. There's a reason for everything. If you like an automatic, buy a .45, Colt only. And if you like a revolver, buy any type revolver other than Smith & Wesson in the .357 caliber only. No 38s, no 9mm, no 44 Magnums or anything. .357 only, and not Smith & Wesson. Do not buy Smith & Wessons. Do not buy Winchesters. The reason is the Illuminati has decided that if they can't get your guns, they'll make them so bad they'll blow up in your face. And they've recently bought both Smith & Wesson and Winchester and have been putting out very poor guns. This is the idea. So do not buy them. If you own material from them free to 1964, it's fine. But after 1964, the Illuminati owns both companies. All right. After that, for your hunting, because all retreats will be living off the land, because you're not going to go down to Liberals or Safeways or any place else. They ain't going to be around anymore for you to buy it. You need to stick with hunting guns only in these three calibers only, and that is .30-06, .30-30, or .308. Okay, now that's enough about guns. Oh, you might want a .22 semi-automatic rifle for small game. That's it. Now, we'll get off the guns and make all the other people happy in here. Next, stockpile food. If you're a farmer, or if you've got a backyard where your kid's swing is, tear the thing down, tear the grass up, and start planting vegetables. Go down to the store and start buying canning jars. People that lived in World War II will know all about Victory Gardens. We'll call these Jesus Gardens. And start buying food. Now, people, I'll show you the importance. Go home, wives, tonight. If you're bachelors, men go home, whatever. And if the men do the shopping, they can do it. But go home and open the freezer, the refrigerator, and every food cabinet everywhere in the house. Gather all the food in. Sit down with pencil and paper, and no cheating. If you put it in one meal, don't put it in another. You can only eat it once. Make up 3 meals, down to the letter, not make-believe meals, but meals that your family can function on 3 times a day, and find out if you can't go to the grocery store tomorrow, how much food you've got to live on. Then you'll see the reason. In the blizzard alone, people were starving in their homes because they couldn't get out for no other reason. What happens when you can't get out at all for every reason? Canned food is impractical. One thing, please, do not store any tomato product in metal cans. The leading cause of disease in the United States today is lead poisoning. Any tomato product in a can for more than 3 months contains lead poisoning in it. But I really recommend that you consider buying dehydrated food. And Tom Berry will give you the address of the only Christian company for this. And the reason we're using the Christian company is not just because they're Christians. They're the only ones that buy good food. All the other places buy food that places throw out and can't can and stuff, and they freeze dry it because you can't tell what it looks like when it's all shriveled up. Okay? You don't know that the meat's spoiled. It looks like this. I mean, you may have in the palm of your hand a 6-course meal. Seriously. Stockpile your food. Food that won't spoil, that you can hold for a couple of years. Start stockpiling. Women, when you go to the grocery store and you're buying things, throw in an extra box of salt. Really. Throw in an extra can of soup or something on this way. Start buying like the farmers buy. They buy and buy and buy in bulk. That's the way you need. If you can find a place that'll sell you in bulk, that's what you need to do. The churches may do what Denny Maloney and Tom Berry and Joe Boyd and others are doing. They're buying at the church and forming a co-op and storing the food away. But I'll tell you this, if you don't have 3 months food supply for 3 meals a day for every member of your family, meals that you can live on, not just exist, chance at all. And we recommend seriously 6 months to a year. And there's reasons for it. You weren't here last night, you may reject it, fine. You know, it's you that's going to be skin and bones, not me. Fuel, forget it. No way to store it really anyway. All you need is medical supplies, you need food, you need weapons to hunt and defend, and you can't do that job with the same gun. You can't defend yourself with a hunting rifle. It's impossible. Not against the way that it's going to be with the weapons they're going to be using against you. But I'll tell you this. You can survive in your home for a little bit. But unless you're a member of a Christian retreat, or if you get one, you'll never make it. Not unless the Lord comes 3 days after it starts, and I don't believe He will. Now, we're not talking about the tribulation. We're talking about all the days leading up to it. You're not going to have a tribulation as bad as it's going to be unless you're going to have some trouble first. Besides, every country in the world has it except America, and I don't see America's Christian life any better than any other communist country. Okay, I'll make everybody happy. We'll stop on that for a while. If you want, you can follow up on those things and you'll learn all you need. Is Pope Paul and the Catholic Church involved in the Illuminati? I'm a Catholic. Why did you ask me a question that you're not going to like the answer to? Yes, he is. As one person put it, I got to keep his name quiet so he can stay alive. He was a very big Catholic, and he goes, it's very frightening when you think that the Pope leads your church and he tells you that he takes people's orders from London and other places in Brussels that aren't even Catholics that are into the occult. And some things about Pope Paul, I don't expect him to live much longer. I'm expecting really his replacement to be the Catholic cardinal that leads the charismatic movement. They've already proclaimed him to be the next pope. He lost to Pope Paul by 2 votes anyway. But the thing here is that Pope Paul is the man who told the Catholic Church, and if you haven't heard it, it's so anyway, that it was all right to practice white witchcraft, but it wasn't contrary to Catholic doctrine. Oh, I can agree to that. It isn't contrary to Catholic doctrine. Yes, he's part of the Illuminati. The whole Congress of Cardinals are. If you get to a retreat, why won't you be found there, and what can folks do who don't have access to a retreat? All right. 2 months ago, I could have said that's so that you don't have access to a retreat. That is not so any longer. If you want part of a retreat, you can be part of a retreat. For one, Freedom Ranch will take everybody that gets to be the size of New York City. We'll just pray for the whole state instead of part of it. But all I can tell you is, how many people here own a home? Own a home. You have no excuse that you're not part of a retreat. Now, if you don't believe in it, fine. Then you can just disregard my words. But if you believe that the necessity of being prepared for the end times is real, then here's what you do. Tomorrow, not 60 days from now, you put your home up for sale. You may not like it, but you do it anyway. I did it, and most everybody else has done it. Put your home up for sale, you move into apartments, and you build yourself a home on a retreat, period. The land is free. Almost all retreat lands are free. All you have to do is build a home. Now, the rest of you who don't, most of the retreats have buildings where you can live, and you can always get the saw out and the axe, and I know that every one of them is in the pine country, in the states that have it. You can always build your own. Your ancestors did. It won't be comfortable, like you think of comfort. I mean, you won't be able to watch Starsky and Hutch, but you'll have a lot of time to read the Word. Why won't you be found? You will be. You will be found. The Illuminati and the federal government themselves within the United States knows where every retreat is. But you won't have to worry about the government or the Illuminati trying per se to come and get you. They'll be too busy fighting their own battles in the city. But there will be looting. That's the reason for retreat. That's the only reason for retreat. The world will go mad before Jesus comes. And you will not be able to survive in the city at that time, because the demons will direct the people and the looters to your doorstep before they'll send them anyplace else. So, while you're standing there rebuking them and expecting them to fall over, I'll be using a shotgun, because I want my family to live. A lot of people shaking their hands. That doesn't sound Christian. That's fine. You haven't had anybody shoot at you yet. You have not had anybody shoot at you. I've got 3 kids and a wife, and I've had people try to shotgun them to death, blow them up, machine gun them, knife them, poison them, and everything else. I love my family. I'm not going to let my family die. Now, which is murder? Letting somebody kill them or defending them? So stop shaking your head at me. I'll bow my head and pray a prayer for you when they put you under. See, I talk bold about this because I have to live with it, and it's coming to your doorstep. Everybody taps me on the back and says, "Oh, Brother Todd, I feel so sorry for you. all these people trying to kill you. I said, don't feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for you. At least I'm prepared for what's coming. I am, too. One of the two main reasons I'm alive is that God keeps me alive through His warnings